Hey guys, what's going on? It's Spycat, and we're on to another one of my favorite actors of all time, Rowan Atkinson. Anyway, guys, Rowan Atkinson was born January 6 in 1955, and he's 61 years old. He's from the county of Durham in England, in the UK, and his nationality is British. He's British. He's a Brit, I guess. Whatever. Who cares? I always mess these things up, but we're going to keep on going. Anyway, guys, ever since the Mr. Bean show, I always loved Rowan Atkinson as a comedian and actor. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. The Mr. Bean show is definitely one of those shows that you could watch over and over and over and over and over again. Really cool that he doesn't even say that many words. And it's just a fantastic show, great for kids, family approved. He's always done pretty family friendly movies and shows and stuff like that. He's great. He's actually like a genius. From what I heard that before, that he's really smart. He's the one that thought of the Mr. Bean show, I think, and he's just great. So we're going to get started on the Rowan Atkinson movies that I have in my collection and the TV shows that I have in my collection. We'll start off with the VHS things that I have in my collection, which are like the TV shows that I've collected over the years. So the first thing I'll show you guys is this kind of rare Rowan Atkinson live VHS tape that I have right here. I got this at Goodwill for like 99 cents. It's pretty cool. I guess Isaiah had to write his name on it, but hey, it was from Goodwill. I'm glad to have it in my collection. But pretty cool. I haven't even watched this yet, but I can't wait to watch that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to show you guys my VHS tapes of the Mr. Bean episodes and escapade shows that... You guys know what I'm saying. I'm going to show you guys the VHS tapes that I have of the Mr. Bean show. There. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, I do have a couple tapes of the Black Adder show that was started, I think, in 1983, the year that I was born in. But I couldn't find them, and I don't want to tear up my room looking for them, tear up the movie room looking for them, because I just get super frustrated and kind of peed off when I can't find what I want to find for these videos. So I'm just going to kind of take it. I do have two VHS tapes of the Black Adder show from 1983, but I just couldn't find it. But in 1990 is when he came out with the Mr. Bean show. So I'll show you guys the volumes and episodes that I have of that. Starting out with Volume 1, The Amazing Adventures of Mr. Bean. I wish I had all these volumes to the Mr. Bean VHS tape collection, but hopefully when I'm hunting, I will complete that. I got Volume 1. I got Volume 2, The Exciting Escapades of Mr. Bean. This one's Volume 2. He always does funny covers with his facial expressions and his doing these funny little poses and stuff like that. This one's Volume 5, so I'm missing Volume 3 and 4. I need to be on the hunt for those. This is a cool one because it's Christmas time's coming up. The Merry Mishaps of Mr. Bean. Pretty cool. This one's Volume 5. And this is Volume 8, so I still need to get 6 and 7. The Best Bits of Mr. Bean. This one has a whole bunch of cool episodes on there. I got The Best Bits of Mr. Bean. This is the same thing, but it's just a different cover where he's trying to tie his shoes and touch his toes or whatever. I love these covers, man. I love his whole character. Love Rowan Atkinson, man. And this is the exact same thing as Volume 2. This is the Exciting Escapades of Mr. Bean, but it's just a different cover. Being the collector that I am, I want to have all those covers. And of course, I have the Mr. Bean, the Whole Bean DVD set. This thing used to be out of print. I remember years ago, this thing would be on the top shelf at Amoeba for like $60 used. But I guess now it's not out of print anymore. Pretty cool. It's got like a whole lot of episodes in here. I gotta try and do that kick that he's doing in the middle of that. That's pretty cool. But this has a whole bunch of episodes. Definitely it's DVD, so it's definitely in way better quality. I don't know if Mr. Bean's show got released on Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure it didn't. But I'm happy and satisfied with the tapes and the DVD one, especially this volume that has a whole lot of episodes on there. This is just fantastic. Love Mr. Bean to death. And now that I showed you guys the TV shows that he's in, let's get started on the movies that Rowan Atkinson is in. And you guys will be surprised. If you're a Rowan Atkinson fan, maybe you'll see some of these movies and you'll be like, whoa, he was in those movies, you know what I mean? So let me show you. We're going to do it like I always do it, from the first movie role that he was in, earliest role, I guess you could say, that he was in, down to the latest movie that he was in. So here we go. So here we go, guys. I'm just going to mention off because he really didn't do that many movies. It's literally like less than like 20. So I'll just read them off the Wikipedia thing. Anyway, I guess in 1982 he did a movie called Fundamental Frelics as himself. He also did The Secret Policeman's Other Ball. Never heard of that. 83 he did Dead Time. Never Say Never Again. He played Nigel Small Fawcett. In 1989, he was in The Appointments of Dennis Jennings. Never heard of that. It's some short film. He was in The Tall Guy. That was like a comedy movie in 1989. I remember that one. But let me show you guys what I have of him. The earliest movie that I have that Mr. Bean was in was one of my favorite movies as a kid. This movie, this cover, this was my favorite movie as a kid. I couldn't tell you how many times I watched this as a kid. Tons and tons of times. It's The Witches in 1990. Great movie. He's not in this movie that much, but he plays he just plays like a bellhop or a waiter or something like that. He's not really in it that long. He plays Mr. Stringer. I don't even remember that, but he's in The Witches, and this movie is just awesome. This cover is like one of my favorite covers of all time. Love that cover. Then a couple years later in 1993, he was in Hot Shots Part 2, or Dukes, Part 2, Dukes, who cares? Anyway, he was in this movie with Charlie Sheen. I don't remember what part he had in this movie. It says on the thing that he plays Dexter Heyman, whoever the heck that is. But, yeah. He's on the back. I don't know. I don't remember him being in that movie. And then he was in Four Weddings and a Funeral a year later in 1994, where he plays the character, he plays Father Gerald, which maybe plays a priest or something. I like Andy McDonald too. She's awesome. Should be doing a video on her movies that I have of her too. And how many people knew that Mr. Bean did a voice on The Lion King also in 1994? But he plays Zazu. You guys remember Zazu, right? Zazu, whoever that is. He does a voice for Zazu. Pretty cool. And I love this movie. I saw this in the movie theater. I remember when the movie was in the theater, I went to Burger King and they were giving out the cards of The Lion King, and I just became an addict for trying to get the whole collection of those Topps cards that came out. If you guys remember those. I wish I had those, but I don't. I kind of want to buy those on eBay if I could find them. Those were awesome. Those Burger King cards that you got with the Happy Meal. You got like 5 cards. Pretty cool. And I also have this really cool. It's got some schmutz on there or something like that. I don't know why, but it's on there. I have this cool special edition collector's DVD gift set right here of The Lion King. Awesomeness there. Love this set right here. And before I show you guys Mr. Bean movie and tell you about that, I forgot to mention that he was in 1991, he was in a movie called The Driven Man. He plays himself. I'd never heard of that. And also in 1992, he was in a movie called Laughing Matters. Never heard of that. But then in 1997, he was in Bean, which as a kid, this was like one of my favorite movies of all time. We all remember the part where he's like, somebody flips him off when he's coming home from the airport with the family, and then he thinks it's like saying hi to someone or being nice to someone, and he's flipping off everyone in the car and all that. Pretty funny. But Mr. Bean, the movie, definitely goes down as one of the greatest movies of all time if you are a Rowan Atkinson fan. Great movie right here. And that was in 1997. He was also in a movie called Maybe Baby, which I used to have that, and like an idiot, I sold it. The few movies I have of Rowan Atkinson, I don't know why I sold Maybe Baby, but I used to have that, so I don't know why I don't have that anymore. But I guess I don't. But anyway, guys, he was in Rat Race in a year after Maybe Baby in 2001. This movie is just... He's Mr. Bean in this movie, pretty much. You know, he doesn't really talk that much. He's trying to go on that rat race to get a hold of that money. This is just an awesome movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's from 1997. And then in 2002, a year after that, he was in Scooby-Doo. He has a little part in this movie. I don't remember what he was. It says he was Emil Mondegorius or something like that. I can't read that. The mouse is in the way. Plus, I can't read that good. Who cares? Anyway, guys, Johnny English came out a year after that in 2003. I didn't like this movie as much as I like Mr. Bean movie, but it's still a good movie just because you don't see Rowan Atkinson in that many movies. He didn't do that many. Also in 2003, he was in Love Actually, where he plays Rufus. And that movie is actually nominated in the Phoenix Film Critics Society Award for Best Ensemble Acting, whatever the heck that means. Don't know what that means. I hate reading off these Wikipedia things. But pretty cool. I don't even remember what he did in this movie. But he was in Love Actually with Liam Neeson. In 2005, 2 years after that, he was in a movie called Keeping Mum, which is a kind of... I really like this movie, and in this movie, he's not like Mr. Bean. He actually has a role where he's talking, he's a regular dude, he's a regular person in this movie. He's not like, you know, clumsy old Mr. Bean, you know what I mean? Which is kind of cool to see him in a movie where he actually has like a part where he's talking and stuff, so that's pretty cool. This is kind of like a comedy drama, I guess you could say. And it was a good movie. I watched this a couple times, actually, when it came out in 2005, and it was a good movie. I like it a lot. Patrick Swayze, one of his last movies too. And then the last movie that I have that Mr. Bean was in, or Rowan Atkinson was in 2007, where he came out with Mr. Bean's Holiday, which is... I love this movie. We all love this movie. This is a great movie with Rowan Atkinson. And love this movie. And how in the heck Rowan Atkinson, being as old as he is, can have his feet... He must do yoga or something. Because it's like, how is he kicking that high? That's like a pretty high kick. I like to see him do like a knockoff movie of like a karate movie. It would be really funny if he did that. But this is a great movie. I'm really happy that he came out with this movie. I want to see him do more movies. I want to see him do like 2016 Mr. Bean. I want to see him do that again, but that's just my wish. It's probably not going to happen, but I would really like to see him do that. I know he did in 2011, he did Johnny English Reborn, which I don't have that in my collection, but I will get it. Anyway, guys, that's it for my Rowan Atkinson collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, and that's it. See you guys next time.